Hi, I'm Dr. Vicki Peterson. Welcome to Root Cause Medical Clinic. I spoke with you earlier about arsenic in rice, but while I was doing my research on rice and arsenic, it kept coming up that chicken is really high in arsenic as well, and I wanted to understand why that was, and so I wanted to share it with you. So it goes back to 1944 that drugs have been given to chicken in their feed, and those drugs were contained arsenic. And what the drugs did was they killed infections in chickens. So it turns out organic chickens are not in this discussion, but inorganic chickens, commercially raised chickens, the kind of chicken you'll get when you go out, those are inorganic chickens, and they have been fed, historically, drugs that contained arsenic. Now, what we were told by the FDA was that they were being fed organic arsenic, and organic arsenic is safe, so that seemed fine. But it was surmised and wondered about if this arsenic didn't become the bad kind, which is the inorganic arsenic. And it's not just bad, it's cancer-causing. Inorganic arsenic is a class 1 carcinogen, absolutely known. It is related to cancers, a number of different cancers in the human body, as well as diabetes and heart disease. So this is a bad guy and we want to avoid it, but we were told by the FDA that it was safe. So the first thing that happened was in 2009, I want to get the name exactly right, so it was called the Poison-Free Poultry Act of 2009. So that was presented in front of Congress and it didn't go anywhere. So in 2011, there was the Poison-Free Poultry Act of 2011. Again, it went nowhere. Then what happened in 2013, a band of 9 different groups got together and sued the FDA. That's not a small undertaking, as you can imagine, but they successfully sued the FDA in 2013, and by the end of 2015, officially these drugs were removed from the market. And so by beginning 2016 actually, so just last year, they stopped feeding arsenic-containing drugs to our chickens. Because what they found was that actually cooking chicken, of course you have to cook your chicken or you'd really get sick, but cooking chicken actually turned that organic form of arsenic into the inorganic cancer-causing form. So it was absolutely proven that this was occurring, and at first the FDA said, well, it's just a small amount, it's not exceeding our threshold of arsenic, but then later they admitted there is no safe threshold for arsenic. Any arsenic is too much arsenic. So why do I bring this up when it's now off the market? Well, chicken manure, chicken poop, there's been 2 billion or million, hold on one second, there's been millions of pounds of chicken manure dumped into the land that has tainted the water, it has tainted our land, such that what I talked about previously with rice and arsenic, some of that is because of the chicken manure in the land, and the land takes it up. Then if you grow rice on that land, you'll get arsenic in your rice. We also talked about the fact that cotton was grown on certain land on the East Coast and the southern part of the U.S., and what they used to spray the cotton was also laden with arsenic. So we have pesticides for cotton, and now we have the drugs from the chicken, and this is why we have problems with our rice and problems with our water. Our water is another contaminated issue when it comes to arsenic. But the fact that these drugs are now off the market here in the U.S. is of course great. Unfortunately, they're still on the market in 10 other countries, some of which we import chickens from those countries, believe it or not, but that is the case. So what I'm concerned about, so we have the historic issue and the fact that if you've been eating chicken, then you now have arsenic to some degree in your body, and it is a heavy metal and it can increase your risk for cancer. What can you do about that? Taking care of yourself, raising your immune system, naturally detoxifying the body. These are things that we use to get heavy metals out of the body, and we can definitely discuss that with you. We can measure your arsenic levels and see. But the thing I'm also concerned about is going forward, commercially raised chickens, again, we're not talking about organic chickens, but commercially raised chickens have a lot of infections. So they're still having to give these birds drugs. What kind of drugs are they giving them? I hope it's not going to be, but I'm worried, like the BPA story. Do you remember when plastics, the bottles came out, the hard plastic bottles and baby bottles started saying BPA free. So BPA was a chemical found to, it was a cancer-causing chemical, and all these bottles came out BPA free. I don't know about you, but I started to wonder, well, it's still a hard plastic. What are they using now that they removed the BPA? And they started using BPS and BPF, saying those were safer, and now it's come out those are worse than BPA. So what are we doing now with the chicken? So there's a lot of information about chicken that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next few videos, having to do with chicken and obesity, human obesity that is, chicken and how it's affecting cholesterol levels, and a few other points. So what I wanted to share with you today was about the chicken and arsenic, and I thought it was a bit disturbing that the FDA had to actually be sued before they removed these drugs off the market, and as we can appreciate, it's not easy to sue the FDA. So this was some really gutsy individuals, a coalition of 9 groups that did this, that made the difference for us. So if you have been a big chicken consumer and your health is not the way you want it to be, you're wondering if your levels are high as far as arsenic or other heavy metals potentially in your body, know that there is testing we can do to figure out if that's a problem for you, and more than happy to help. Here at Root Cause Medical Clinic, we help the world's busiest people regain, retain, and reclaim their health, their energy, and their resilience. I would love to help you. Feel free to contact me for a free consultation. The telephone number here is 408-733-0400. I'll see you soon.